So guys, this video we're going to talk about how to boost your conversion rate and potentially double your conversion rate for your online store. And I'm going to take you through the entire process of exactly how you can do that and all the tools that we personally use at our agency internally to really help our clients scale to the next level. All right. So at this point you would have already scaled up your audiences, right? And you would have potentially already created $1 million creatives, right? And I like to use the term $1 million creatives honestly because creatives have the power of generating your business $1 million if they are crafted correctly, right? And one of the tools that we also use at our agency is actually addcreative.ai, right? And that really helps a business owner very quickly put together a quick image ad that can really communicate value to the brand and to their audience, right? So this is actually a really good creative software that you can use for your business, right? You would have probably hit market saturation, right? And at this point, the only way to really increase your revenue is by increasing your conversion rate, right? And the way you actually go ahead and do that is really important, right? So you would have already had a proven offer, you already have scalable audiences and $1 million creatives, right? So now you need to implement another flywheel that can ensure that you double your revenue, right? And we actually integrated AI just a few months back into our creative process, honestly, because we realized that if you can integrate AI is leverage, right? AI is just tech leverage. If you can integrate that into your processes and your systems, you can scale more quickly and more faster, right? So what does this really mean? So as we have already discussed on this channel already, organic sniper growth and winning paid ads along with email subs are just traffic mechanisms, right? It's just a way to generate traffic for your brand, right? It doesn't ensure that using any of these or either of these will guarantee sales. It just means that you're increasing the attention and the traffic to your website. Now it's your website's job to in fact go ahead and convert those visitors into customers, right? And the exact way you can go ahead and use that and test that is through this quick tool. Again, it's called abtesting.ai, right? And this is a phenomenal tool, honestly. Like, you can go ahead, test landing page headlines, you can test copy, you can test images, you can literally test like even buttons and button colors, right? So what this tool actually goes ahead and does is this is what it does really. So when all your traffic moves into your organic sniper growth and your winning paid ads and they move into your website, right? So you would be coming across all these different variations, right? So you can go ahead and create all these types of variations, right? Now, again, you'd need marketing knowledge in order to create different positive, negative headlines. You'd need to create a value driven offer so that your conversion rate actually increases and not decreases, right? So testing all these different kinds of variations is again up to you, and the content is dependent on what you find apt, right? So this tool is again just an amplifier of your knowledge and the value that your store already has. It's just going to help you improve, display that value to your customers, right? Or to your potential customers who are visitors, right? So here's a quick example, honestly, of what doubling your revenue looks like, right? So currently, let's say your conversion rate is at around 2% and you're doing 30K per month, right? So if you want your future conversion rate to change, you can just double your conversion rate and your revenue automatically doubles while keeping your ads the same, while keeping your organic strategy the same, while literally having the same creative process. Nothing changes, just a testing on your website can help you scale to that next level, right? So if you're watching at 4 minutes, right, you definitely see value in this video. And I know that someday you will end up becoming a client of ours because you do see value in the content I have to provide for you, right? So taking you through this process, right, you again need to ensure that your website installs abtesting.ai. This is a very good plugin for Shopify, right? Go ahead, test all these kinds of variations, right, along with the original variation, right? This software will ensure that your traffic is equally divided, right? And the winning variation is getting a higher percentage of the traffic so that your conversion rate is marginally increasing as every day passes, right? So as time passes, your conversion rate is constantly improving, and that ensures that your revenue is growing, because if your conversion rate's increasing and the website visitors stay the same, that simply means you're moving from 2% conversion rate to 4% conversion rate. So you'd go from 2 to 2.5 to 3 to 3.5 and then 4, right? And potentially with this tool, you could even do 6% conversion rate, right? And that would simply mean 90K in rev per month, right? So going ahead over here, you can again use the tool Hotjar, right? Not many people again talk about this in the e-commerce space, and it's actually a pretty good tool in order for you to really scale and analyze what your customers are really doing on your website, right? So if your customers are clicking away, or they cannot find a certain button, they cannot find a certain menu, they do not understand what your product is selling or what your product is giving them, is getting them, then they're not going to purchase, right? So you can figure out exactly at what point of the website page is someone not moving ahead, right? And if you can understand at what point someone is not moving ahead, you know that that's a place that you need to tweak, right? Or if you see that at some specific keyword or reading a specific sentence on the page is causing users to click off the page and exit, that also tells you that that part of the page needs change, right? You can either change the copy or change the layout or change the design, right? And that would ensure that it's a more fluid experience for your customers, which in the end ensures that you make more sales, right? So different types of variations that you can install into your brand would again be a controversial positive headline spin, right? So this would be communicating value in a positive aspect, right? And there are tools online like the readability score tool that can actually help you display how positive a headline is. So you can actually put in your headline over there and it will tell you how positive is your headline. If it's positive, if it's slightly positive, it can tell you that, and accordingly you can use that headline. And same thing for the negative headline, right? Once you create a negative headline, use the readability tool to check if your headline is actually negative, right? So that it actually gives that emotion, it spikes that emotion in the customer when they're browsing your website, right? And next up is actually the value driven headline, right? So you need to ensure that your product, your offer has value to communicate. Only then you can create a value driven headline, right? Next is actually button color variations, right? So usually red, yellow, blue, and green are usually what is tested in button color variations, right? So even text sized variations are very common, right? So I'd actually read this test where they actually talked about increasing the size by just one font size, increase the conversion rate of the entire store, right? And that was just the add to cart button. They just increased it from 11 text size to a 12 text size, and the entire conversion rate increased, right? So that's something else that you can potentially use to increase your conversion rate, right? So next up is actually short form copy variation versus long form, right? So this has different meanings, right? So short form copy could literally mean the product description of the product that you're selling, the hero product, or it could be the entire copy of the whole website is literally compressed in one fold of your phone, right? That would mean short form copy variation, right? And long form is just the opposite, right? So it could either mean a longer product description, right, explaining the features more in detail, or it could simply be going ahead and creating a longer landing page so that your customers really understand what your product is delivering to the market, right? Usually I've seen that longer form copy variations are needed for more niche products or for products where the value cannot be communicated in like 3 or 4 sentences, right? So those usually include digital product stores, wouldn't really need longer form copy variations, right? Now the CTA variation is something really important, right? So this would really depend on your customer avatar, right? So if it's like a younger demographic, right? If it's like students under 21, right? So usually the top 100 stores, if you really look into their backend and you see what types of CTAs that they're using terms like let's go G, right? Or add this to the bag, right? So get the bag, secure the checkout, you know? So it's more slang language that you can install into your brand, right? And this just makes a brand connect with your customer avatar, right? So the more you dial in into your customer avatar, the more you'll understand the language that they use, and the more you will be able to implement that language into your copy, into your CTAs, right? And this in the end will result in a higher conversion rate, right? And obviously after all this comes in, there's something that you need for data review. So that would actually be the Hotjar tool, right? So that would be actually recording. It would be like literally recording everything on the back end of what your customers are doing on your websites, so that you know exactly how you can go in there, what changes to make, right? And implement those changes through A/B testing.ai. Differentiates itself from the original variation of your website, right? And in the end, you will have a winning variation. That winning variation will contribute to 4 to 6% of your conversion rate, and boom, you have increased your conversion rate. So again, this is just potentially one mechanism that we really install into your brand, right? There are tons of mechanisms that we actually integrate into your brand, which are self-growing. They actually auto-grow by themselves. They are literally like a snowball that starts small but ends up really big at the end, right? And that's literally at every single mechanism level. It's in organic growth, it's in ads, it's in your email subs, it's even in the creatives, right? So this is just for image creatives. We actually have a full creative process when it goes into video, and we all know that video is the future, right? So again, if you really need our help in setting all of this up for your brand, right, go ahead, you'll find the link down below. Go ahead, book a call. Go ahead, reach out to me on Instagram. It's at Ecom Carl. You'll find the links down below. Go ahead, send me a message if you really want to get started and you really want to take your brand to the next level, all right? So until next time, see you. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.